everyone, welcome to Fifi TV. It's Sophia Campbell. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you're rejoining us again. Today is going to be just a makeup and hair tutorial for my near and dear old studio, Carolina Dance Capital. This makeup look is actually very versatile and can be used for competitions, conventions. I'm on the dance scene, so I kind of use this sort of same technique for my game day looks. So please feel free to use this look any way you can. So usually CDC, we have always stuck to our white and black makeup, which is absolutely gorgeous on stage, but we've decided to close that book and open another one. So we are moving to the neutrals, the browns, which can still be very dramatic if you do it the right way. So not too much, but not too little. We don't want to look like we have black eyes. We don't want to look like we have nothing on our face. So this is kind of a good balance for that. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to achieve the perfect neutral stage dramatic look, along with the competition hair. So I don't want to speak for too long because I know a lot of you guys are probably getting ready for competition or something while you're watching this. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in with you, zoom you in a little bit closer, and get right into it. Okay, so first things first, I already primed my face. If you're looking for a great primer, I shall talk about it because why not? It's Roden & Fields. Moisturizer, this one acts as more of like a blurring primer and this one acts as a moisturizer. I always think it's really great to moisturize before you put your makeup on because if not, then we'll have a lot of clogged pores and breakouts in the future. But right after you prime, you can go ahead and get into it. I like to do my foundation first. A great foundation for a very cheap price that is great for stage and just for dancing and sweating and having that full glam look is the Maybelline Matte Poreless. It's called the Maybelline Fit Me line. Matte Poreless, do not get the, I think it's dewy glow. We don't want that. We don't want to look like we're shiny on our face or sweaty or anything. So matte and poreless is the way to go. And just match your skin. They have several shades. You will definitely find your fit there. Maybelline Fit Me. So I usually use a sponge for my foundation application. You can use a brush, whatever you like. The sponge is very good to not have those streaks. This is a Morphe sponge and it has a flat edge, so it's great to go into those creases. And then it has that pointy edge if you just want to go for it. And I also like to wet my sponge a little bit so it's not super hard when you're putting it on your face. It also just helps set that foundation in more. Now another great technique for applying foundation is if you saw when I was applying it, I also went down to my neck. This is great for anyone who tans, but also for anyone in general. Let's say you didn't match your foundation perfectly. You don't want that distinct line on your jawline to make it look like your head is floating off of your body. A completely different color. And the next thing that I use, I am running out very low, but it's still coming up a little bit, is the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. This is a great, cheap concealer. It just brightens your eyes. It stays there. It doesn't move, it doesn't crease or anything. A lot of creases can happen with certain concealers, but definitely Maybelline Age Rewind. Always do it lighter than your foundation. I haven't mentioned this, but I'm going to link everything that I use and recommend below in the comment section, so it's nice and easy for you to find if you don't have it yet. And you just kind of twist it until it comes up to the surface. She's getting low on me. And then you just go under your eye. I also go out a little bit to kind of keep that that cheekbone look. So I make a triangle, but then like go out a little bit, if that makes sense. So concealer can also be used to brighten like other places of your face, not just your under eyes. So I sometimes do a dot on my nose, on the bridge, do a little 3 lines in the forehead and my chin. Totally up to you, but as long as you only do the under eyes, you're good. So this is exactly why I adore the sponge. Just it it finds great ways to get into places that are hard to get with usual brushes and stuff like that. So that is the foundation and concealer. Next, you want to set that in with a powder. You can do this before or after. I kind of do it both before and after my eyes and everything, but this is the CoverGirl Clean Professional. I believe it's translucent. Oh no, this one isn't translucent. This is like in shade 110, but there is translucent powder. I usually use translucent powder. I don't know where that went, but I thought that was it, but I guess I got something different. But I love translucent powder. It's great. I definitely think it's a must for your makeup because you really need to set that in, because if you have, like right now, it's not slimy or oily, but it's just that it's gonna move. So if you don't have that powder to lock it in, it's not going to stay. So I'm just going to pat that under my eye a little bit. Also where I put that concealer on my nose, forehead, and chin. And if you want to take one big, just kind of pat around, brush around your neck, everywhere. But as long as you get those distinct places in the beginning, you should be fine. Now, something that I always remember, and I always love quoting her, my mom, she always used to say, and she still does to this day, is eyebrows. Eyebrows are one of the most important things of your makeup. If you have no eyebrows, on stage especially, you will look crazy if you have this beautiful dramatic eye and the blush and everything, and then boom, like nothing's here. So especially if you have blonde, light eyebrows, you need to color them in with a pencil, with a powder, with literally anything you can find. Usually I just use eyeshadow or bronzer. So super important. Even my sister growing up, when she had black eyebrows, she still filled them in. Always, always, always fill in your eyebrows. It is so important. You may look crazy in front, but when you're on stage, you look normal, like a human being who has eyebrows. So I take an angle brush and my bronzer literally, and I just fill that in and follow the hairs. So yes, it looks very dramatic. You can see the difference between one and the other, but it's so important. No matter if you have light, dark hairs or light or dark skin, always, always, always fill them in. If you saw my technique, I start in the middle of my eyebrow usually because it has the most of the powder on that. Unless you're using a pencil, it doesn't really matter. But I start there because I want the outside middle part of my eyebrow to be the darkest. Then I work my way in to the front of my eyebrow. So yes, right now it's crazy and it's very little and faint, but when I bring that in I start out and then I start bringing it in slowly, it kind of creates that little bit of an ombre effect, not too much, but it's so you're not looking like you're matte on stage and you have all this pigment right here. It's kind of going out. Everything you're gonna see in my makeup tutorial is out, out, out. The dark goes out and it brings in lighter, 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 because if not, you will look like you have that black eye. So we are ready to go ahead and get into the eyes. I'm going to zoom you guys in even closer so you can see exactly what I do, how I do it. So let's get started. Holy cow, talk about being up close and personal. Here we are. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with this shade here. So I am starting with this very light. I mean, it's super light. It's just to kind of get that base and that to prime basically your eyes for the upcoming browns. Perfect. So once we have that set and done, we are gonna go to a little bit, we're always gonna start light, light, light and get darker, darker, darker. So we're gonna go to this next shade and we are just going to kind of, with the big brush, I'm sorry, I haven't really specified the brush. The first one doesn't matter what you use, big or small. I just ended up using the small one because it was the first one that I grabbed. No worries, just that has no significance because that's going literally all over your eye. This brush is going to be fluffy. it's kind of going all over your eye, but you're gonna not kind of go on your eyelid really. So there's a space. If I open my eyes really big, you can see that line right there. So that's technically where your brush is going to go. And we want side to side motions, like a windshield wiper. And I like to stay very small windshield wiper motions you see here. Not super big, so you just can control where you are going with it. Okay, so you can either get a new brush. I'm kind of limited on brushes right now because I'm cleaning a bunch, but I'm gonna use the same one because it's totally fine. But you see how if you saw when I was doing it, I was mostly focusing on the outside, but still going in a little bit. But every time you get darker, you're gonna kind of stay away from the inside. So it's probably like right here is probably as dark as it's gonna get. Out here, it's gonna get way dark, a little bit medium, like this. So the next color we're gonna go into is this color right here. So you have it on your brush. Again, I kind of like to pat a little bit before I start doing windshield wiper motions. And it's just getting that color on there, and then you're gonna start doing the brushing motions. So pat, then brush. And for the outside of your eye, it's okay to kind of go where that like brow is a little bit, but once you start going the windshield wiper motions, you're gonna go back into that line crease that we found earlier. Next, we're going just a little bit darker. I got a new brush. You can keep the same, do whatever. This one's just a little bit less fluffy, so it's not gonna go. I like to always do the fluffy brushes down to the very non-fluffy and dense brushes. So this one's just a little bit more dense, less fluffy, just so it doesn't go everywhere. And again, you're just starting with that patting motion. Sometimes if you get too much on your brush, I always pat on both sides and then I'll start blending in, like I just did. Great, so now we're gonna go into our darkest color, and you can get even a smaller brush than you had. So I'm gonna use this more dense brush and just really, really, really focus it on that outside. I also like to focus it really kind of on the lid, right by where your, I guess, lashes are at the very end of your eye. So I like to focus it there and kind of bring it up. So after I kind of brought that up, I'm gonna go ahead and blend in. So that's kind of the dark colors that we have going on. So here is what it looks like. So under the eye, I'm gonna use like a very thin, flat brush. As you see, it's like not fluffy at all. We're gonna take that dark color and we're gonna go under our eye. Two things that's very important, actually a few things. I did not go all the way in here because that will shrink your eyes and close them up and it will look like you're squinting on stage. So if you kind of, what I like to think about, if I'm looking straight, if you look straight and you're doing this, or if your daughter's looking straight and you're doing this, you stop kind of where your eye color starts, I guess, on this side. That makes sense. Right where it changes from the white, for me, from the white to the green, or the white to the brown, or white to the blue, whatever color eyes you have. So that is the bottom. You do, it's so important. I'm gonna stress this for my mother. You'll probably hear it from her at the competition, especially if she sees your daughter or yourself without it. It is, sorry, that's my dog barking, but you will look like it's just gonna be so, especially with this makeup, it's so dark with the big lashes on top. If you have nothing on the bottom, it looks crazy. it just looks like, you know, you're kind of washing out, and that's where you get the black eye. That's where you get the, like, just, it's not evenly balanced, I guess. It's not balanced. So you do want that under eye to balance you're about to get liner, you're about to get the lashes, you already have the dark and the eyebrows and everything. So the bottom is super important. We like to say, after the eyeshadow, put the liner on. You can use, if you're more comfortable using pencil eyeliner, the pen liquid eyeliner is always great for beginners, or just like if you are not comfortable doing completely liquid. And like the crayon-ish. So there's a pencil and there's like the crayon twisty ones, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Those are great for under the eye. For top of the eye, you do kind of almost, it's a necessity to use that liquid eyeliner. I'm gonna put it under my eye because I'm used to using liquid eyeliner under there. You do what you want to do. So I'm right under the waterline. We're not doing anything in the waterline because, again, that will make your eyes look smaller. Everything about this makeup, with it going out, with the under eye and everything, it's all about making the eyes look bigger. If you're putting it too close into your corner, your eyes will look smaller. If you're putting it in your waterline, your eyes will look smaller. So really pay attention to what exactly I'm doing and where I'm putting it. So before we put top liner on, we're gonna go into the shiny colors. Something that I like to do, it's a little bit of an extra step, but I think it helps me a lot. I like to put a little bit, especially if you have this concealer, it's not super liquidy. I like to put concealer where exactly I'm going to put the shine color. It makes that shine color brighter because you're not putting that shine color right on top of that dark powdered eyeshadow. So I like to kind of make a base for the shiny colors. So if you're using this one, you're just gonna get that like a flat brush to get another one. So I kind of just coated my brush in that, and I'm lightly just going to dab right on. So if you open your eye, there's a complete distinction between the like under brow bone kind of deal and your lid. So you're gonna put the concealer right on your lid. Another thing is you're not gonna go all the way to the end. You're gonna kind of stop a little bit midway, maybe a little bit kind of past midway. Again, I kind of like to measure with my eye color right on the other side where the green turns to the white. That's, I think, where you're gonna stop. Again, concealer is kind of an extra step. You don't have to do it at all. I love the shine. Another extra step that I do is that I put the Morphe setting spray on the brush, and then I put it in the powder. So I'm gonna use this kind of goldy undertone of a shimmery color and put that first everywhere I put that concealer. So like that. It's just everywhere where that concealer is. Now, no matter what, I usually take a smaller brush than what I just used for the gold. I'm going to spray the smaller brush with setting spray. Then I'm gonna go into that pinky, lighter, shimmery color, and I'm just gonna put it in the middle, as you see, of the gold. I know, it's kind of weird, but it looks great. And again, it opens your eyes. And then I'm gonna take that same shimmery color, the lighter one that we're just now using, and put it in my tear ducts. Why are we doing that? Again, opens the eyes. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to eyeliner. Same liquid eyeliner that I used for the bottom, if I could find it. And we're just gonna put it on the top. There is no winged eyeliner. No winged eyeliner. I will say it again. No winged eyeliner. That is not the look we're looking for. If you have a winged eyeliner and then those huge lashes, it just doesn't it doesn't look right. So, at least for what we're looking for. If you do it for a normal basis, go for it, but not for stage. You will see really closely, I hope it's close enough, that I do kind of, not wing it out, but I just kind of flare it out a little bit Again, I don't want to do liner and stop it right here because what will that do? Close my eye. So I always bring it out just a little bit. You're gonna see exactly what I mean. Another thing is you don't want to do super thin eyeliner. This is the base for your lashes. This will show you where your lashes are going. So you're gonna see how I do this. Again, this is so, I don't know why I always do this, but I always start in the middle because that's gonna be the thickest part, and then go out like my eyebrows, and then I'll go back into the inner corner. So as you can see, you see that little kind of flare out. It's not a wing, so that's why I'm trying to stop myself from saying winged out. It's a little bit of like a little flare. I'm gonna call it a flare. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but we're gonna call it that today because why not? Next, the lovely eyelashes that everyone just loves to do. I know it's sometimes a struggle for some people to put lashes on. It's just practice, practice, practice. Trust me, I still struggle to this day. I wish everyone's like, what's your secret to put on lashes? What's your secret? There's no secret really. It's just all what you find yourself comfortable doing. Some people use tweezers, some people use toothpicks and all these other things. I just use my hands. Another person's like, how do you put the glue on? Some people put it on something and then bring the lash over. Some people put it on the lash. Some people use a Q-tip or a toothpick or something. Again, all preference. Practice different ways to see what is best for you. So I'm not sure what your lashes are this year. I'm thinking and assuming they're the same as they have always been. The handy dandy, beautiful CDC lashes. So another thing about this is that we gotta find the right glue. There are so many bad glues out there. If you're getting lashes with the glue in the box, and if it's not Ardell, it's probably not the best glue. Any glue that's like the paint on, really, even by Duo, it's not the best. My love and dear that's gotten me through hours and hours of competitions, of recitals, of conventions, of long football games outside in the heat, in the wind. Literally, this thing is like super glue basically. This is the Duo Lash Glue. But I use the black because it kind of dries like a liner, so you don't have that weird clear kind of gluey look on top of the liner. Totally preference, the clear is totally fine, especially if you're working with little kids, clear is probably the best. Also, I'm those weird people who just put the glue right on the lash. I'm not really into using a Q-tip. If you are, go for it. A lot of people, actually the majority of people that I've done their makeup, you always have to cut their lashes. If you are cutting your daughters or yourself your lashes, do not cut from the inside. Always cut from the outside in, because if you cut from the inside, there's a possibility you're gonna have this super long lash in the inner part of your eye, and it's just not gonna look good. Always have small to big, small to big. So luckily for me, I do not have to cut the lashes. I usually use this bubble and kind of just graze against the lash line. This takes a lot of patience and tranquility. And I set that down somewhere to dry. Do not put it on right away. Let the glue dry. You don't want it super wet where it can move around, and it's even harder to do. So you always want it kind of almost dry completely to put it on, because right where you put it on, it's gonna stay. Because sometimes when it's wet, you have to blow on it, you know, and it's gonna move. If your eye gets watery, it's just not gonna stick. You know, it's just a whole shebangle. So those are gonna dry a little bit. So I just take it, I blow on it. Lots and lots. So the fun part if you are doing someone's lashes, you always want them kind of not eyes shut. That is, unless like you need to. Sometimes Nina always talks about she always did people's lashes while they're sleeping and they're laying down, and it's just calm and easy. But another way is that if you're like up and running and stuff, you can stand up and you look into the middle of whoever's doing your lashes chest. So that is like a perfect like spot. So you don't glue your eyes together or anything. Even when you're putting them on, don't completely shut your eye, because it'll just create a different look and also will glue your eyes together. So I like to just kind of, you can use tweezers, whatever you gotta do, line it up. I always put the outside on first and then I go into the inside. Okay, just like that. I know I look super crazy with one done, but another thing that I do is I don't know if you can see really, where are you? There you are. I kind of put like a little bit of space in between my lashes and the real lash on the outside, because you want the lashes to go up. You don't want them sagging down and gluing right at the end. Another reason why we didn't put the liner all the way and stopping here, we did it up. So same thing with the lashes, you put it on, and even when it's drying, you always push up, up, up. It's going up all the way, all the time. So now that the lashes are done and dry, I like to kind of leave them alone for a little bit and let them kind of sit and lock in. Some people do like to put mascara on before. I don't personally, because sometimes when your lashes are already up and flared, it's hard to, like, you have to like push your lashes down to put the lashes on because like they're curled up and stuff. It's kind of a challenge. But while we're waiting and that's drying, I'm gonna take that small teeny brush that we used earlier, that flat brush. We're gonna go into the lightest shade if you want to respray. And we're gonna just kind of do the brow bone to highlight a little bit, because it looks a little bit dark and dull and you're kind of losing all that shine in there. So we're gonna put more shine right under the brow. Okay, while it's still drying, before we put any mascara on, I'm gonna zoom you guys back out a little bit. We're gonna do blush and bronzer, and yeah, let's do it. Okay, so you guys all should have had an email with the exact blush to use. I unfortunately don't have that with me, so I'm using my own blush, but I'm gonna show you exactly how to put your blush on. So I like to use a pretty small, I know it's kind of crazy for a blush brush, but pretty small, and if you can, try finding that angled brush. So I'm gonna take my blush, and yes, it's going to look absolutely crazy in person. But another thing my mom will chase you down after is if you don't have enough blush on your face. You will look sick and just colorless on stage. No matter your skin complexion, super fair and light or super dark and beautiful, we need to make sure that we have blush on no matter what. You'll look washed out. Those lights are brighter than your future, just kidding. But what I'm saying is that they're crazy. They will wash you out. They will, you know, take you away. So that blush will keep you locked in on stage and beautiful and have some color on your face. So you are going to look and find the top of your ear, hi ear, and you're going to, if you are a beginner, I actually even advanced, I do this still to this day. You're gonna do a little kissy face. You see how it separates this bottom and the top? Yeah, so you're gonna do that kissy face, and you're gonna go down. And kind of where that cheekbone ends is where you're gonna stop. You are not gonna go straight on and do a little circle. We're not clowns here. So we go from here. We always start at the ear because you don't want to have the most pigment here. You want the most pigment here. This is the only time you're having, actually no, same thing. Pigment on the outside, working your way in. It's literally my saying for today. After that, you're gonna go to your forehead. Yes, on your forehead. I know it's weird, but you don't want a pale, colorless forehead. Sometimes my mom will tap my nose just a little bit and my chin just a little bit. But you do for sure want that forehead done and the cheekbones. And then with that same blush, just a little bit to add some light and brightness to your eyes. You're gonna take a fluffy brush, literally any brush, super fluffy, and you're gonna go in that inner corner and just pat it down a little bit. Just to kind of, it just, I don't even know what it does. It just creates like a smooth, blended look. Like so. You're going to then add mascara on top and bottom. Please do bottom. And make sure you do top too. I know a lot of people don't do that when they have lashes on, but if you can see really closely, I have like dusty like foundation all over my eyelashes. So you want to make sure that they blend in with your lashes. And we are at the finish line, super close, so don't stop, don't give up. We are gonna move on to lips. I am actually completely out of my Ruby Woo. I know, it's kind of sad, honestly, but it's okay. We're gonna accommodate. But what I'm not out of is my handy dandy lip liner. I always forget the name of this. Oh, it's Boutique. I think we get this at Sally's. I'll have to look. I think that's probably at Target too. I'll try to keep you guys going to one place and one place only with all the links and everything. But this is amazing. It is in shade Auburn. It's great with Ruby Woo. I used it all of my dancing career. And please, 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 please don't skip over lip liner. There are a few things you can't skip over. Blush, eyebrows, lip liner, and under eye. Those 4 things you need in your life. Do not skip over them or my mom will literally come chasing after you at competitions. Okay, so I did my lips off camera because it's not the same lips and I think everyone else can put lipstick on. So, but this is the final look. You can do some setting spray. People think setting spray is fake. I believe in setting spray. She keeps me locked in throughout games, throughout competitions, throughout recitals and all. Yeah, so I'm gonna go do a nice little montage close-up look so you can see exactly what it should look like at the end. If you have any questions, please, please, please feel free to reach out in the comment section. A lot of you follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and some of you guys have my number personally. So please, you are not a burden to me if you ever reach out with any questions. My mom, hopefully, and my sister will be at the competitions to help you. They are both very skilled in makeup. So we're gonna go ahead and move into hair now, which hopefully will be a little bit more simple. Yeah, so thanks. But now we're back and we're gonna do some hair. So first I'm gonna talk about some products and then get right into it. And yeah, so first thing, the most important thing I think for the hair is an old man brush, or I call it a smoother brush or a bristle brush. There's like 500 different names for it. This one I believe is from Sally's. I'll also put the link below. It has a nice tip so you can easily make a middle part, and then it has this very rough like bristles and very tightly together. You don't want the ones that like kind of smush around a lot. These are very tight, honestly almost sharp. This will keep that hair nice and smooth. When you're doing your hair, you don't want to use like a regular brush. That will create all these like lines when you go back. You want to have this brush, well, it looks seamless. So that is the brush. There's different sizes and shapes and everything. If you find this one, luckily, if I find the right link, this is like the best, and I literally used it all of my dancing career. So, for pins, for the actual bun donut itself, which I'll explain what a donut is, we are going to use these pins. I'm not sure if you can see exactly what they are. So when you get them, they'll probably look like this. And then once you start using them and everything, they will most likely end up looking like this. So this is great. So what you're gonna do, if I have my donut, which if you didn't know, this is what a donut looks like. She's a little, she's fallen apart on me a little bit. She was put to a lot of use back in the day. But this is what a donut is. I'll go ahead and talk about the donut since it's in my hand. This honestly is the perfect size. It's kind of the size of my palm. If you have long hair, you do not, I repeat, you do not want to get those huge buns that are like literally this big. My sister, if you know anything about Issa Campbell, which a lot of you do this year, she's has always had very long and very thick hair. She still used this size of a donut. She never used that big pancake looking thing, or I guess now it's in the back, kind of donut. So always this size. It's about a little bit, I guess you could do a little bit bigger than the size of your palm, but nothing crazy big, no matter your hair type. Now for back to the pin, you want this kind of pin because you're going to get the pin into the donut, into the hair tie, and push in. I know it's really complicated to look at, but I'll explain it more while I'm actually doing it. So these are the pins. A lot of my peers use these pins. These are totally fine. They hold your hair great. The only downfall about these is that there's no ball on the end. So if you look at this one, I'll look at the better one that I have, you can see the two distinct balls. I'm sorry, this is kind of weird. But this one does not have any. So it's sometimes it will scrape and kind of hurt a little bit more. So if you find these are the way to go. Another thing for hair pieces, we have white bobby pins and silver bobby pins. I guess whatever you can find, whatever looks best with your hair piece. It just depends the color, the shine, and everything of it. I always stuck to the silver. Sometimes I kind of mixed them both when I was in a rush. But I would definitely suggest using white and silver for hair pieces and not these black ones, because they sometimes just look kind of tacky with the beautiful, CDC is known for their beautiful applique hair pieces, and with that black just kind of sticking in there, sometimes it doesn't look as flattering. For big hair pieces, sometimes like we have this like huge hat or something, or like a big crown, we use these bigger, thicker ones. They're just like the bigger versions of this kind of, and these will really lock in your hair piece and not let it fly off. We do not like our hair pieces to fly off at all. So try to get as most secure hair pieces you can get. We do not use these black ones for any other part of the bun, either if it's slicking or if it's the bun or literally anything. I guess really nothing, unless you have like a black hair piece or a darker hair piece. But we don't like to see, if your hair is nice like and slick and we see this right here, it just breaks that beautiful slickness that you just worked so hard for. So just honestly, my advice to you, if you have hair sticking out, I mean hairspray, gel, whatever you can do, but try to stay away from those tacky looking bobby pins within the scalp. Now, I was just saying hairspray 500 times. What is the hairspray that we like to use? We like to use the Herbal Essence hairspray, the spray gel. So this is what we've been riding and dying for years. If you're anyone like me, I have psoriasis in my scalp. So I actually have a skin disease in my scalp. So a lot of hairsprays don't like to work with it. And honestly, Herbal Essence is probably the only one that works great. So if you're worried about any irritation or anything, Herbal Essence is great to compromise with what your skin condition is. It's also one of the best just to hold in your hair, but it just holds your hair so good. And on the plus side, it smells absolutely delicious. So Herbal Essence Spray Gel, this is there's like different strengths. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 3 spray gel. I would say this is what you should use. And they also come in, which I usually have, but I am actually out right now, but I'll show a picture. It's a big like jug. It's kind of like this kind of like actual hairspray, but in Herbal Essence. This is not what I use for my buns. This is actually what I use for my curling of my hair, which I'm gonna have to suffice for today because I'm out of my Herbal Essence hairspray, which I love. So without further ado, I think I covered everything. Hair ties, I like to use 2, no matter how thick or thin your daughter or your hair is. I've always used 2. Another way, it's just another way to lock it in so your bun doesn't feel like it's kind of wiggling. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on with it. So for hair types, curly hair. I do have curly hair, so I usually straighten my hair every time I do my hair, hence why it's straight right now. Wet hair to do buns sometimes isn't the best thing to do. When it's wet and you're putting your hair in your bun, it will dry obviously within the day. You don't know how much hairspray you really need because it's not completely dry, and having it wet will make it look and feel slick. So you do want to keep it dry. You also, Nina has always said this growing up, dirty hair is the best hair. I actually made my hair super dirty for this. If it's not super dirty and you forgot to not wash your hair, you can always use like some coconut oil, any kind of oil. It will be so much easier. Sometimes when it's that clean and smooth hair, like it'll just fall out. You know when your hair is dirty and it just like kind of wants to stay in that one place and it's just like annoying? Well, that's great for doing your hair for competition. So try it, like whenever I went to competition, I would not wash my hair for like the entire week with like dancing and everything. That sweat and everything will just lock it all in there. I know that's super nasty, but it helps. Some people, if you have really short hair, which hopefully you don't, because that'll be a very big struggle. Hopefully you don't have any bangs or anything, but if you do need to get like a little hair extension, I definitely advise it not to have this little bun in the back. So try to get a hair extension if you need it. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so for the middle part, I like to go from my nose. Thankfully this brush is super long, so I go from my nose, and this is kind of hard using the mirror behind you. And I go up and all the way down and out. And I do that a couple times. Obviously this wasn't straight enough. I do it a couple times until it's completely straight. So I'm thinking that is pretty straight. And if you didn't know, we are doing low bun. I don't think I mentioned that. But that is pretty straight of a middle part. And now we get to douse our hair in some hair gel, spray gel. So we're just gonna spray, spray, spray. So after I sprayed it and doused it, you can keep dousing. I'm not even dousing that much because I'm not going to go on stage in 5 seconds. But if you are about to go on stage, you will need a lot more than what I am putting. So I then start brushing it so my hair starts to remember and starts to get into that smooth position. Now, since actually I'm not competing, I decided to get bangs, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. So if you do have some, then this is a great tutorial for you. So I just gather my hair in the back, and then I just start smoothing and grooving. If you see the way I'm brushing, I'm going down and back, down and back. I'm not going this way. There's a way to go like this. This is a whole different look. Like if I do this on this side, do you see the difference in the line? You want it to go frame your face and back. So you're just gonna keep playing back and forth with spraying and then brushing, spraying and brushing, making sure there's no lumps and bumps. So if you see the spot where I put my pony, it is right at the bottom of my head. We don't want it to be up here. I don't know if you guys can see me too well, but we don't want it to be in the middle of your head. We also don't want it to be too low to where you can't arch your head or your back, or put your head back, I mean. So you want it right at that sweet spot in the middle of too low and in the middle of your head. So I'm now taking my 2 thick hair ties. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it back literally as tight as I can, where it feels like I just can't bear it any longer. Now be careful when you're pulling it, because you don't want to pull one part and then it makes it all bumpy, if you know what I mean. Okay, I'm sorry I didn't realize that the camera decided to zoom in, so I hope you guys saw everything. I'll go over everything just one more time. Super slick. There is not one bump. I do have this going on here. That's because I have my little widow's peak, trying to peek through that. You see I'm going down my face, behind my ear, down my face, behind my ear. Everything is smooth and together. I can even take this brush. I feel there's some bumps up here. So I bring it towards the hair tie. No bobby pins at all. It is right here, not too low on the skin, but also not in the middle of your head. Right in that sweet spot where you can fit that donut and you'll be fine to move and groove. Now we take this donut, put it on the hair tie, and we go down. When we put our hair over, we are not going to take another hair tie. I only have 2 hair ties. This whole thing requires 2 for the ponytail. Nothing is gonna go over the donut. You are going to, I'm gonna go ahead and flip my head. I'm just gonna spread it out, brush it out over the donut. From here, I have this beautiful, evenly spaced throughout my donut. I'm going to take, I usually take my bottom left corner and I split it just a tad. I then tuck and move. So you see that? There's no hair tie or anything. You tuck and move. Tuck, move, tuck, and then you have this last piece. You're not gonna wrap it around and bobby pin because that'll show that piece. You're gonna tuck it all the way under and around. So I feel the donut, so I'm just gonna cover that up a little bit. And I just squish it. Once it is squished, I take those bobby pins. Mine are all distorted of all sorts. And you're gonna do what I said earlier. You take some hair in the donut, find that tug of the hair tie, and push. Again, find it, push. Find it, push. Trust me, the dancer will know once you found it because it does kind of not feel the best, I would say. All the way around. I'm sorry, this is not the best demonstration. I hope you guys are understanding. Again, I tuck, push. Tuck, and push. You really want to make sure all of them are pushed in all the way. There is still no hair tie, no hair net, nothing. You just take and you spray, spray, spray all the way down. You're all good. There's no extra anything. It's that simple, nothing more. Hairspray, you're done. And this should be the final look. So thank you guys so much for joining me today on this video. I hope to start making more soon if I ever find time in my crazy life. I wanted to make this for my CDC family. You guys are always so important to me and I'd love to help you guys out in any way possible. I wish everyone who's watching this good luck in competition season or game season, whatever season you are doing this makeup or hair for. I hope this was helpful. Please reach out with any questions. Check the comment section or the caption for all the details on every single product that I used. Please subscribe and follow for any more content. I do lots of fun stuff if you're here for the first time. I do challenges, makeup tutorials, vlogs, literally anything you can think of, I try to do it on here. I am so thankful that you guys clicked on this video and joined me today. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy and well mentally. I know it's very stressful this time, but I wish everyone the best. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on my next one. Bye, guys.